Hey guys, welcome back. It's Grim Reaper coming at you for another video for Raidshadowlegends. Today we're just going to go over the highlights for my takeover I did for Small Fish, and this is going to be for a Fire Night, not Fire Night, sorry, for HYDRA takeover. Now, before we did the keys and I did the re-gears, stuff like that, he actually didn't do a bad job of doing it, but he was only hitting brutal, hard and normal, and I've actually taken him to nightmare brutal. So he already did hard key before I was able to run this. I rebuilt his champions, I retuned his teams and stuff like that. So before we go into the runs, I'm going to show you the gears. So what I'm going to do is I'll drop links below and you can see what team you would fancy really, or which one is more dependent to you. But Small Fish is not actually a small fish, he's a very big fish. And has a very good gear as well, so you just needed to be set on a right path. Now both of these teams are auto, so that's really friendly to him, and they're very good for vice versa per certain teams and stuff like that. So I can't show you the presets, I don't think, because we have no keys now, so unfortunately that is what it is. But I'm gonna go over the build. So the first team was Duchess, Krisk, Venus, Tupac, Rawguard, Husk. So we're gonna go over the team. So we're gonna start with I'm gonna try and go in the correct order, but we're gonna start off with, there's a lot of champions. Duchess. So his Duchess I didn't rebuild, to be fair. She kind of had everything I wanted: fast, good resistance, and then reasonable defense and HP. It's a bit of a paper Duchess for arena, but for HYDRA it's not too bad. And with Krisk it kind of bulks her up as well. We don't actually see Duchess get do anything really, so we actually demolished Nightmare here, and we got a lot of damage. This is the Krisk for Nightmare, so you can see it's broken pieces. We have good accuracy and resistance, as well as defense and speed. So we want Duchess to be the fastest, we want Krisk to be the slowest. So generally Krisk puts up the debuffs, and then Mischief will come in, target him and try to take it and get resisted. So we have 400 accuracy, 500 resistance, 234 speed, so we want him to be slowest, 4,300 defense and 60,000 HP. These are his masteries. So as you can see, we are running tier 6 mastery, War Master, and stuff like that. So this is where you generally want to be for most of it. So with Duchess, she doesn't really do any damage really, so there's no point really worrying about her. As you can see in this run, Venus does as much damage than Royal Guards because we've really beefed her up. So what we did with Venus was we actually put the highest critical damage out of all the champions, because when a Mischief or the first champion of the Variant will target Venus. Now Venus is a very good champion to be swallowed within his team, because we still have Krisk as passive, which gives us the defense down. So as long as we lock down DK, which we did, we'd be fairly fine. These are the masteries for 2 hacks. So again, I wanted to do the same kind of role as Krisk. Don't want it to be the second choice of bait. So we have good speed. We've got 270 speed because there is a few speed from the Great Hall. We generally wanted to be the second fastest, and we wanted to go before Venus. So if Venus goes before her, Venus will put a defense down and weaken, and then she'll do the A2, so giving her less chance to extend and block buffs. So as you can see, we have 3,230 defense, and again another 54,000 HP. She brings the AoE defense stat up, so that is generally why we're being able to run so low on defense. We do have a whopping of 450 accuracy and then a whopping 558 resistance. A bit of overkill, but hey ho. We do have the blood shield to make sure that we are always having a buff on us, etc. So that is generally fine. And then these are the stats that we're using as well. I am using how Hades Optimizer, does give me a very easy life at all. This is Venus, a little bit of probably where you guys are a little bit surprised of her damage. She can actually do a lot of raw damage on HYDRA, so that is something to bear in mind. So we built her with damage stats to make some damage. Now you can go relentless. The two reasons why we didn't go relentless is, one, we don't have enough relentless to go around both teams, and I wanted to make sure that we had enough relentless to go around all of them, and also just generally because I don't want her to proc relentless and then throw off to hack with her block buffs throughout the run. So as you can see, we have her as the third fastest in the comp at 254. We have reasonable defense, good HP, and good accuracy, as well as good critical damage. So, and then these are tier 6 masteries. Again, you'll notice all the masteries are very similar. So we're going to go into the last two champions, and that's going to be our Royal Guard and Husk. So this is our main Royal Guard. These are his masteries. Cycle of Violence, really important for that 8-2. Life Drinker, really important to heal. So as long as you've got high HP, you're doing generally fight quite fine. They're like the two masteries to kind of sit up. Blessing, Cruelty, or Phantom Touch. I think there's a bit of both, whatever you kind of fancy. We do have a double refresh and a double refresh here, so that is really important as well. And then we have a relentless set as well. So we do want as much refresh as possible. We got 249 critical damage, we have 241 speed, and then 41,000 HP. So generally, Krisk will offer a lot of protection as well. And then Mr. Husk, and Mr. Husk will do two roles here. He will be the third damage dealer, but also a support kind of role to lock down DK. So this rotation, he's not that good because he's weak affinity, but later on in the other rotations, I have generally tried and build this team to be good for all rotations. So we have a whopping of 373 accuracy. We do have 216 critical damage, 240 speed, and again, make sure it stays faster than Krisk, and a very reasonable HP of 50,000. So again, once the Great Hall is looking a bit better, and he's done his his live arena Great Hall, which is where he kind of needs to focus on, he will be able to pump up this damage and her accuracy as well. And if we can bring his accuracy up, we can rebuild him in the future. So there we are. There is the builds of the first team. I'm going to see if it allows me to show the comp quickly. Actually, we'll do that afterwards. Yeah, we'll do that afterwards. Let's do the run, and then we'll come back for the builds. Sorry for the turn thingy. Okay, so unfortunately it doesn't allow me to show the builds, sorry, the setup, but generally you can go and message me if you are interested in the setup. So we're going to go into team 2 builds now. This is his brutal team. So we're going to start off with his Pythian. Pythian is at the top Grim. So this team was totally different, and I wanted something a bit different because we needed it to kind of work against Torment, which, as you can see, or as you'll see in the turn rotation, it will do much better. We have Stone Skin because this is what his arena was. We did put 1 blood shield on him because he's got high resistance already. We made sure it's the fastest, good defense, good HP, and then we just made sure we had that. You don't need to build Stone Skin for HYDRA. You can generally just go broken builds, make him tanky, or even regen, which is probably his best set for this. And I do like to have a bit of resistance on him. So these are the arena and masteries that he went with. I probably would choose something a bit different for HYDRA, but there was no need for me to go ahead and change that for no reason. We will bring in his Mishigati, who I did not rebuild. This was his build, so all I did was make him faster and just glyph him up. Again, more critical damage would be respectful, but he does have the accuracy to land. He has good speed. And again, with Brutal, we do want everyone faster than 225. So once we do see the HYDRA buff, we can see that everyone is fast enough for that. So again, Relentless build here, which is fairly good. And yeah, so not too bad of a build. And then these are the masteries. I did change the masteries just a tad. We next have the one and only Arctic. I can't do a HYDRA takeover right now. We're not including him in it because he's just so strong and offers so much utility to the HYDRA runs. And he actually had a really good chemistry with Mishigati. So yeah, again, key mastery, Cycle of Violence, Life Drinker, Spirit Haste, and Master Hex are definitely the ones that I would be looking for. And again, I want good critical damage, good speed, good HP, and good accuracy, which are the stats that we're looking for. We have a triple refresh, which is going to be super strong for his account. And this is how we generally should be building a Arctic and not following my build, which is built for Ice Golem. So there is a bit of a difference there, a little bit of a different of the builds. And then we just got the last 2 champions, which is going to be Yugo. Again, this is in the Relentless and refresh, so you can kind of see where I'm going. These are in-game builds, so please don't look at me and think, Grim, these builds OP. They are meant to be OP. This is taking on some of the hardest content in the game in Raidshadowlegends. So again, these are the stats that we're looking for. So these is a in-game build, so they will be quite good. And we're not exactly scraping the barrel with these either. We do have a husk here, could be a husk or an Aurora Guard. We didn't choose to go Savage in the end because he is a 3rd DPS role. And as you can see, we pretty much demolished this boss, which you'll see the run. So these are the masteries for Husk. I don't know what's really going on with the support tree, but it didn't really matter to me right then. And these are the stats as well. So we want good accuracy still, good speed, and so on. And then we have the last and least, we have the last Krisk. We have 2 Krisk on this account. So for me, Krisk is super OP. I think Krisk is possibly the strongest champion in HYDRA. It just brings so much utility and stuff like that. So again, we have a whopping of 400 accuracy, 500 resistance, and good speed, and then 300 defense, 3,800 defense, and then 50,000. So there's not much off his nightmare comp. As you can see, we just got a little bit less speed. So it's really important that he was running like his Krisk and stuff with the same kind of stats, but he was running at like 280, and it was just way too fast, and that is why he was struggling. So he was also using stuff like Unshakable and Eagle Eye when he actually had the mastery to do this. So I do want to point out with this last run that we do get RNG'd quite a bit, so I stopped the run because we did get the 1 key, but this was done first time in the stream, so both runs were completed first time. I generally think his team on Nightmares possibly one of the best auto teams within the HYDRA section, and definitely one of the best teams to follow. So enjoy the run. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys when I return from the holiday and the wedding. Hopefully you guys will enjoy yourself for the next 2 weeks. I have a stacked load of videos ready for you guys, so please remember to like, comment, subscribe. It does help support the channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.